remember the Dalai Lama once saying at a talk I heard him say, he said that if we were to take every child at the age of 5 and just teach them for 1 hour a week to meditate on compassion, that's all, just to think about compassion for 1 hour a week from the age of 5, that we could end all violence on this planet in 1 generation. That's the power of kindness, of compassion, and remembering that any act, it doesn't make any difference. You can be walking down the beach and you can just pick up a piece of plastic that someone has carelessly left there. You can pick up a cigarette butt. You can help. The other day I was coming out of my hotel, and I was on the 2nd floor, and there was some people that had set their bags out, and there were about 4 of them, and they had to carry them down the steps and over to to their car. And there was an older man there who was going to have to do all of this. And as I was walking down the stairs, I just picked up 2 of the suitcases, and I just walked down the stairs with them, and I put it down. I still haven't forgotten it. I felt good, and telling that story right now means that you're an observer to it as well, and you feel good as well. That's all we have to do. Any tiny little act of kindness is something that puts you in harmony with the source.
The Buddha gift story, if we're all one and the same, how are we free of each other's opinions, bad opinions?
My teacher, Abraham Maslow, used to say that to become independent of the good opinion of other people is among the highest qualities of people who reach these levels of, of higher consciousness, or what we're talking about, the meaning phase of our life, or the afternoon of our life. And most of us get so consumed with what other people think of us. And when Buddha offered that quote, when his devotees said, how can you be so calm in the face of all that criticism? His answer was that question, which was, if someone offers you a gift and you don't accept that gift, to whom does the gift belong? And they all thought about it and then realized that when someone offers you a gift of their opinion, no matter what it is, if you don't accept it, then it doesn't belong to you. And why in the world would you ever be upset about something that belongs to someone else? It's theirs, it's not yours. And that's something that each and every one of us can cultivate. And it goes way beyond just that great spiritual story. It goes into when we put our focus on how much money am I making, or how much prestige do I have, or did I get that promotion, or did I win the game? All of that is really about being dependent upon the good opinion of other people's. You ever watch television and see when the football game is on and the cameras pan the crowd and everybody's number one, and I think, only one person can be number one. Only one. But there's all of us out there. So even in a competitive tennis match or whatever it might be that you're doing, there's still the place within you where you can allow other people's opinions to be just what they are, and to just enjoy every single moment of it. When I learned that, I used to be a competitive tennis player, and when I learned how to be less focused on what this other guy was doing and whether or not he was making the calls right, and whether the wind was in my favor and all of that. And I just began to be in the process, just almost meditating my way through a match. I became independent of all opinions of anything or anyone out there. And the ironic part of it was I became a better tennis player because my mind wasn't on winning and what other people are going to think and the trophy. Just recently, in an Olympic match, there was a high hurdler who was running for the gold medal. And when she got to the 9th hurdle, there's 10 hurdles, when she got to the 9th hurdle, she said in her interview afterwards, I already saw the gold medal around my neck. And as soon as she took her focus off of what she was there to do and onto the outcome, or what other people were going to think of her and what it was going to be like to stand on the podium, she hit the hurdle. And she hadn't hit a hurdle in years. If we stay on purpose, on process, rather than on what people think and what the outcome is going to be, nothing can stop us, nothing.
Do you have any ego about not having an ego?
That's a good question, it really is. A lot of people who get into this, on this spiritual path, begin to say that, I'm more spiritual than you. and therefore that makes me better, And so you have to remember that this is not, even in this whole world of spirituality and higher consciousness, it's never about being better than anyone else. As I've said so many times, true nobility is not about being better than anyone else. It's just about being better than you used to be.
How can one teach or share the Tao and practice it at the same time?
I'm not really focused even on teaching it. I went out and lived it for a year, and I wrote a book about it, and I put it out there, and those people who want to read it and buy it, and you know, it's there for them. If they don't, I have no interest in listening to what the critics say. I let go of all of that a long time ago, because I think it's easier to sit in an air-conditioned booth and watch other people perform and then criticize them. I think it's much more important to just be a doer and do what you do. I don't write my books for anyone else. I don't write them to sell. I don't write them to be on the bestseller list. I don't write them to make money. I write because writing is what I am. It's in my heart. And if I can't do that, then I would feel incomplete. I would almost feel like I would die. It would be no longer any reason to live. It's never about the outcome. It's never about other people's opinion. It's not about being more spiritual than everyone else. Each and every one of us. There's not a soul on this planet, there's not a bird, there's not an ant out there that doesn't come from the same source and doesn't return to the same source. Each and every one of us are equal in the eyes of God. The divine,
if we are in fact one and all, then it's going to somehow take care of itself. Is that sort of a belief in destiny?
And that's another great question. Carl Jung once said that at the same moment that you're a protagonist in your own life and you're making choices, at the very same moment, you're also the spear carrier or the extra in a much larger drama. You know, we are making choices, he said, but we are all doomed to make choices, which is a paradox. You know, we're doomed, that is, it's all set up for us, and we're also making choices. And if you want to get to the highest place in the Bhagavad Gita, the great ancient spiritual text of the Hindu faith, you know, the Bhagavad Gita teaches us, that means Song of the Lord. It teaches us that you have to learn to blend the two opposites and live with two opposite ideas at the same time. I am a choice maker, I am out there, I have a free will, and at the same time, I am being lived by the Tao. And both of those, while they may contradict each other, it's the way of life, because what doesn't contradict? Think about who you are. Think about who you are right now listening to this. Who you are is this thing that's in physical form. It has a beginning, it has an end, it has substance to it, you can touch it, you can feel it, you get a hold of it. And also who you are is totally and completely invisible. That part of you which is listening to this and processing this and thinking about it and wondering about it is invisible. It has no form. You are form and formless all at the same moment. If I want to just wiggle my finger, it's an amazing thing to be able to just take this finger and wiggle it, because here's the finger and I wiggle it. What makes it wiggle it? You know, you can go inside of my brain and you can find, you know, that which allows it to happen, but you can never find the interior, the invisibleness within each and every one of us that just says, I'm going to wiggle my finger. That's just a thought. It's invisible. You can't get a hold of that. You can't grab that thought. So I am that, and I am also the finger that is wiggling. I'm both. And that paradox is something we all have to learn to live with and stop fighting it. It's just in the way of things.
The comedian David Cross said, what does God get out of it? Worship, creation. If it's not too indulgent, can you speculate what you think Source receives from our contribution?
There was a great Indian saint who came over to the Western world in the early part of the 20th century. His name was Vivekananda. And he offered this observation, this quote, if you want to understand what God gets out of it and how to get there. He said, go out in the springtime and observe the blossoms on the fruit trees. He said, the blossoms vanish as the fruit grows. So too will the lower self vanish as the divine grows within you. It's like a container. You just let more divinity grow in, more service, more living the virtues, more of it. And as you fill yourself with this, rather than the ego and what's in it for me and what can I get, the blossoms vanish, and so too, and the fruit grows, and so too does this false self. It just vanishes. It goes away. The ego goes away, and the divine grows within you.
Thank you for the comfort you've given so many with your work and focus. One last question. Can I have some of your old dental floss? Because I want to sell it on eBay.
On eBay.
As much as you can spare, actually, because
absolutely.
I'm speculating that a sweater made out of it would go for top dollar.
A sweater made of my dental. I like that. I'm going to tell it because I use my belly button lint for that. You know, I got a whole bunch of it saved there.